Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening for some. It's almost evening for me, too. Welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Jay. Connected for some reason. And now we're reconnected. Hopefully there's not connection issues. Let me see if we're officially reconnected. Hopefully everything's good. We can't be dealing with the connection issues today. Already running a little bit late today. All right. It's like everything but this. I said I didn't get to put out the notice earlier. YouTube's got this weird thing about its notifications, so I kind of have to play with the notifications a little bit and not do too many notifications. Otherwise, people won't get the videos. So, as always, plan is about an hour, and then we just go from there. Plan is to be an hour, unless... minimum an hour. Let me just say it that way. Minimum an hour. I'm actually having trouble. Hey, what up, what up, what up? Welcome. Atheism, actually. Murphy, Dade Murphy. Is YouTube tripping? Zeb, what up, what up? How y'all doing today? Welcome back. Is my YouTube tripping? Oh, hear myself, my bad. God seems to be whatever the hell we make it up to be, man. I'm starting to, the more and more I do these videos, the more and more I try to get people to be honest about this, which I won't stop. I'm very determined to force people to be honest about this thing that we have no clue about. Whether you believe in God or not, I really want you get. I don't care. You can believe in stuff that you have no clue why. I just need people to start admitting that. Like just having a feeling, you can't base a belief just off of a fuzzy feeling you have. And like most people don't, like that's not how you go about your everyday life, right? When you're out doing your everyday thing, when you go looking for jobs and all this other things, you don't do crap on faith. Like you don't. You go out there like what if you got paid on faith, right? Like how many people are going to take that job? Hey, like we're just paying you on faith, bro. No, you want to see that check. In the places that have a track record of not paying you, nobody's going to work there. So we only use faith when I don't know. I don't even know. Like I just don't think we live our lives on that kind of thing. So it's just something, I try to get everybody to at least realize. Maybe I shouldn't use the word admit, but just get people to realize that anything supernatural, right? Like we talk about God a lot, and stuff, but I'm really talking about anything that we would as a society consider supernatural. Ghosts, all these things, spirits, demons, I'm putting them all in this category, right? Because I know we focus on the Bible because I'm in the United States, but these things transcend to other, I don't know if transcend's the right word. These things are in other arenas as well. If you ever been an athlete, people pray to God to play better or whatever spirit to play better. I don't know if you guys ever remember the movie Major League. I'm probably aging myself a little bit. Where like I forgot the guy's name, but he's a black guy. He has like this African god, and I forgot the African god's name, but he's like praying to the god, right? And I don't know, it's just really interesting. Like we literally make all of this up. There is no way of testing this stuff. I'm still waiting on somebody to show me how to test it. Because what happens is you ask for somebody how to test it and they tell. Are we back? Are we back? I don't know, guys. Hopefully, like, if this continues, I won't make you guys suffer through this. If I'm going to keep cutting in and out, I don't know what's going on. If like my internet's tripping today or whatever, I'm not sure what it is. Okay. All right. But anyways, my whole point is we have to be able to test this stuff, man. We can't you should be able to test it. I don't know how else to say it. Like you should be able to test this stuff. And if you can't test it, like what are we doing? And I get how everybody, like we always talk about this. I get that somebody had an experience. I don't take away people's experiences. If you had an experience, you had an experience. I had many experiences. I just found out there was no way of knowing if it was from God or not. Right? Because at one point when I was younger, right, I had an experience and then I was not able to have other experiences that would have brought the same feeling upon me. So if I'm 10 years old, 12 years old, preaching the gospel like I used to, right, and I'm feeling like I have these feelings and emotions, I also have those feelings and emotions eventually doing other things. And that starts my questioning process. It's like, well, wait, if I'm only supposed if God is what is supposed to be that feeling and the Holy Spirit is supposed to be what that feeling is, why would I ever get it with something that I'm told that is not of God, right? And that's the key for me is things that were not, or things that I was told that were not from God, I get the same feeling. And then I notice other people that I think are bad people, right? Like just talking about getting that same kind of inspiration and feeling from bad things, right? So, like, how do we test what is what, right? How do I test uh, the Muslim version of the Holy Spirit? How do I test the Mormon version of whatever the Holy Spirit is compared to the Christian version of the Holy Spirit? How do we test these things? Right? Like how are we supposed to test these things? And that's something that you have to be able to do. In order to know if something's true, you have to be able to test it. Like, why is this the one thing that we're like, nope, don't have to test it? Nope. If you can't test it, it's okay. Why is this the one thing we accept no test on? And then these same people that tell you this book is true or that book's true, that this religion's true, also require the same thing that I'm requiring from the religious people. I'm requiring proof. These same people require proof from science, right? They're like, why can't science explain this? Why can't science explain that? Right? Like that's what they're saying. Why can't science do this? Why can't science do that? What the hell has religion ever proven? Like real talk, what the hell has religion ever proven? Like like the contradiction of being asked like, hey, non-believers, prove everything. We don't have to prove anything, right? That's it's crazy to me like that we allow that, by the way. That's crazy. And no mama talks. Y'all leave people's mamas alone, man. Leave people's mamas alone. You know people are sensitive about that. I never was one of those people. Like people would talk shit about my mom and it never got to me. Even after my mom died, like I still didn't I don't care if you talk about my mom. Like I don't know. I'm not saying you were talking to me. I don't know who you're talking to, but leave people's mamas out of it. People take it serious, even though words don't mean shit, but people take it serious. But I don't know. Is that too much for me to ask? To ask the same things that the religious person would ask of me? They would ask me, hey, why doesn't science prove what consciousness is? Why doesn't religion prove what the hell God is? So, like, let's do tit for tat. Was it tit for tat? Tit for tat. Let's do that. You ask why we can't explain something. Yeah, you need to be able to explain it and not just conjure up a God. Right? Like what proof do we have of any God? What proof? And don't say the Bible because that is made by people. My mom died a while back. I don't miss her like that anymore. I don't know. I guess I'm weird. I mean, I have fond memory of her, but I don't miss her anymore. Um, I missed her when I was under the illusion of seeing her again one day and stuff like that. And then when I realized that's probably not happening, I stopped missing. I guess it's kind of weird. It may sound weird, but I stopped missing her. Um, that's a non sequitur. Just because I could confirm one thing doesn't mean you've given a good reason for the other. Um, How narcissist is it to think that humans or Earth are the point of the universe? Yeah, you got to have proof of these things. And like I said, if I could meet, if I wish I was able to. I don't know. I wish there was a machine that I could put a believer in and me in, and then them be able to see how much of their life God has nothing to do with. Most believers I know live almost the exact same way as if they didn't believe until you start talking about the Bible. Then once you start talking about the Bible, most people pretend to live this whole different life. But if we could just watch their lives, they are acting the same as everybody else. Like it's weird to me. Like most people are acting the same as everybody else. But you have the Holy Spirit. But God's real. God's talking to you. Like all these things. But God isn't powerful enough to make you different, I guess. Like I'm really big on this, and I was really big on this when I was like the evangelist me. Like I said, I used to do the same kind of things, talk about this with people all the time. And I would question them when I was a believer. I would question them like, if you really believe, why aren't you giving up everything? Like, why aren't you giving up everything like Jesus taught? If you truly believe, why aren't you doing that? And there will always be an excuse. Oh, I'm a sinner. We're all sinners. We all fall short. It was never, yeah, I should do that. It was, let me make up the first excuse possible on why I don't give up everything like Jesus taught. Like, I think if we're talking about Christianity, Christians should not want to be in government. Christians should not want to gather wealth. I don't know about, I guess Islam might be the same, but I don't know enough about it. But when I read the Bible, you are not supposed to be worried about your house, your money. You aren't supposed to be worried about anything. Hey, Nid, let me see if this works. Sometimes when you go as a guest, it doesn't work. And if this doesn't work, I'm going to give you a new link. Nitty, let me make a video ninja link for you. And then you can join me there. I'll be happy to talk to you. So give me one moment. Don't run away just yet. All right, hold up. Video ninja. Let me make us a little room. Sorry, I'm running a little late. Work had me a little late. Okay. All right, let me post the link. All right, so here will be our link for Video Ninja. If Discord doesn't work for you, you will be able to use this one.
Yo.
Nice. Hold on real fast. Good, man. Let me make sure I got your levels good here.
That's all cool.
Let's see. Let's get you on screen. He's got his camera. He's ready, y'all. He's ready. All right, that's good.
I have my own channel, so not to shill. I just
no. You're good, Dad. You're good. We have a little good time here. Yeah, fix me too. Fix me. We'll fix each other. All right.
What if you're unfixable?
Let's see. Wait, why do I see myself? That's not what I'm supposed to do. Da-da-da. There we go. All right. Am I a little loud for you? Is that what it is?
No, you're fantastic now.
All right. Cool, man. What's your name?
I'm Nitty. I go by Nitty.
Nitty in the house. All right, what you got for me, brother?
Well, I've been commenting on your videos. I've been watching your stuff.
All right. Let's hear it.
Well, I'm that Nitty, right? So, I commented on your Frank Turek video about God is essentially like one of his points or evidences for God. Evidences? What the? Why did I? Oh, I listen to so much Christian content. I said that stupid word. Ugh, I want to barf. One of the pieces of evidence for God he proposed was that the laws of logic require a mind.
Hmm.
And you said at the very end of the video that you were hung up on it. And I noticed like throughout your video, you'll say that phrase like, I'm hung up on this. And you seem to resolve that hang up, but in this case, it didn't seem like you were resolving that hang up at the end of the video. So I was a little confused. And so I commented at the end of it about like logic and whether or not it's grounded in God, and whether or not the Christian worldview in particular, whether or not that's even coherent, right, or consistent with it. So yeah.
Let's see. So I think when I'm talking about the logic argument, I think it's the one argument, and this probably is just my ignorance on a lot of the logic speaking, is I can kind of get how that gets people to look at it in this like very magical, special way, even though for the most part, how I look at it, it's like math to me, and I think some people disagree with me on math. I don't think it really exists. But I can see when we talk about math, if there is something that exists but doesn't exist, it makes sense to me why people look at that like it's special, because it seems like it comes out of nowhere. Right? Like two plus two being two or four is like it's weird. So I guess that's what I mean by I'm hung up on that a little bit, is that I don't know how to really get people to not look at it the way they might be or they should. And I think that's what I mean by when I say I'm kind of hung up. Like I'm hung up like I can't give someone a good answer.
Oh, okay. So like if you were on like a Christian call-in show, and you present like your lines of argumentation or your reasons that Christianity just doesn't seem true,
Mm-hmm.
and they come back with like this kind of argument to try and convince you that Christianity is true, you're not sure how you would respond. Is that accurate?
That's the basis of it, because overall it does not make me all of a sudden believe in anything. It just like, oh crap, I don't have an answer for that one. Like that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and I mean, you could end up believing that there's like platonic forms of logic and math. Like those are just like qualities of the universe that humans are like grabbing at and like perceiving, and they're really useful and they really do exist, like without other minds, right? But they're in no way tied to like a god. You could end up there. You could end up like as a deist, where like you could say like humans ascertain or perceive these kinds of things because of this is a created thing, but that God just doesn't care. Like other forms of theism just are incoherent to you or aren't convinced. So you just so like the apologists would like totally nut over that. Like, oh,
Yeah, exactly.
He still believes in
Yeah.
God.
Yes.
He still believes in God.
Yeah. No, really. Yes. Not even exaggerating. Yes. 100%. I get that. I get that a little bit. I get that a little bit in the comments where
Yeah,
like
there's
people
a
are like, oh,
chance.
he believes, he's just questioning. Like I get that all the time.
Some
I get that all the time.
Yeah.
So when you said, are you a believer of, because the way I look at it, and maybe this is what makes me say the words that I said as far as being hung up on it, is I don't think it really exists, and I don't know how to explain how it doesn't really exist.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think if all things that have minds are gone, including animals, I don't think logic exists. I don't know. I don't know how you feel on that, and I could be wrong, and that's part of why I'm saying I don't really have an answer. But I like it seems like those things would not exist if there was nobody around.
I completely agree with you. in many domains or topics of discussion, I'm like an anti-realist. Like, what the heck does that mean, right? Basically, to break it down, is I think in lots of categories of knowledge, I think they're only real when people are using them or discussing them because of their utility, because we utter them, because we come to a consensus on the meaning of these. The chat says turn me up.
Yeah, I just got you.
All right, cool. Um, so they only exist in the domain of these things we are also labeling minds, right?
Mhm.
But they aren't capital R real in some metaphysical domain. I don't think we can prove that. I don't think that kind of thing exists. So, like, to explain it would be something like, well, I believe that the United States government and sovereign powers exist around the world, but I don't think there's a one world government. I don't think there's like a controlling, dominating body or reality that all these things are pulling from, right? Like,
Mhm.
there's all these like contexts where these systems work, right? Laws, all that stuff. Those system works, logic works in our contexts, right, to communicate.
Mhm.
But we don't have access to it existing outside of that, right? So that, like, source for the powers, definitions, these things to apply. I don't think that is that kind of real, as real as
Hmm.
you and I are speaking
Yeah.
to, like, in my perception, right? That's how it's real. And this is where, like, apologetics and presuppositional people are trying to get you, by saying the word real, they're trying to say you're appealing to my capital R real, right?
Mhm.
You're trying to steal from, you know,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, you're trying to say that you are accessing something that's true in the same way that I want you to believe things are true, right? So even if you and I aren't looking at a particular tree, the tree, it's massively true, super true, ontologically true, like capital T true that the tree is there, right? It's highly
Mhm.
probable, but might not be.
Well, I
um,
mean, if we do the whole, I think we could always do the, yeah, I mean, of course I could be seeing things that aren't really there. We all could be in the matrix. But to me,
right, yeah,
the
solipsism.
the matrix is still real. Like that's how I would think of it. Like it doesn't matter if
That's
I'm
a
being
fair
tricked.
analogy, yeah.
Like if I'm being tricked, it doesn't matter. Real is what we perceive to be real. That's kind of how I look at it, which makes me think, well, just because it seems like logic and math are real and we can use them, there is nothing I can, like I did the little video last, I like the little magnifying glass. I can't find math. Like, you know, like I can't,
Right,
like, where is
right.
it? Like I can't find
Mhm.
it. And
Yeah, and
I
that's where
is that what God is to most people?
well, so it's the simplicity of the answer. Like, God provides us these things. That's why they're so useful. That's why they seem transcendent between people, right? That even people who don't have words seem to grasp things like non-contradiction, identity, etc., etc. Um, but again, like, and to your point, and I agree with you, I don't think that if creatures like us, or even, like, corvids and octopuses seem to perform logical operations, right?
Mm-hmm.
As if, like, the Imago Dei is like special uh, for access to the laws of logic. Like, maybe not, right? I think there's sufficient reason to doubt that. Um, but at the same time, I think the difficulty is that with the precept or apologist, it's going to roll into your comments is going to change the category of the words real, true, transcendent, right? Like we could say logic transcends an individual and agree, but then our stopping point will be whatever the max number of individuals in the universe. And someone in the comments said Jay sounds like a nominalist of some kind. Well, I am too. Like, and here's the reason. The more I started to think about logic, I asked myself, can I exhaustively demonstrate A equals A in reality?
Okay.
Do you think you could exhaustively demonstrate A equals A?
I would have to say no, because I've already said that there's no way to prove in something 100% anyway.
Well, those are two different things.
Okay.
So, like in science, or like like in scientific claims, all true scientific propositions are provisional, meaning they're open to revision. Like you can have a claim or a theory, but it's open to revision, right? With testing. But to demonstrate A equals A exhaustively means this object and that object always have completely identical properties.
Okay.
Insofar as you can never find a difference.
Okay, so I was more
space,
thinking of
in time, in particle.
Yeah, there you go.
Like,
yeah, you just said what I thought.
It.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that sense of A equals A can never be demonstrated. And so that to me shows that what we're doing with the game or the language of logic is saying, okay, this is a gum package, right? But this is just like, if I keep tearing it to pieces, it's going to be scraps of a gum package. But as the more time it spends in the ground, it decomposes. When is it not a gum package?
When is it not? Yeah.
Right, yeah. It's the heat paradox or the ship of Theseus. Both of those things are kind of in this realm. But, is this like, okay, but is it still the same gum package? Well, like, I just tore it. Like, what do we mean? Well, I like the precept or something like that will be like, well, you're still appealing or saying there's a set of particulars, right, and a referent that hasn't fundamentally changed enough to our liking
right,
to call it something else. And that's the key, right?
Yep, that's right there. Yeah, that is it. Yep.
Yeah. Like, because as soon as anything in the universe changes enough, changes beyond our liking, we give it a different label, and it just isn't that thing anymore. And that's like, people need to learn to be okay with that.
That's tough.
And that's
tough.
hard.
Yeah. That's tough a lot. Yeah.
That's my feedback. Does any of that helpful? Oh. And there's like the map versus territory distinction. You almost had it.
Yeah.
In your video.
I feel like I didn't finish it enough. So go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
The mountain example, right? Yeah. Like, to claim a map is reliable doesn't mean it has everything down to the molecule perfect.
Yeah.
Right? We'll still consider it reliable because it's tracking enough information for us to not be like Wile E. Coyote off a cliff. Like, it's tracking. It's approximate enough to get us to whatever, to get us to whatever. Right?
It works.
And they're saying logic is the territory, that they have this like infallible map, or
got it.
Yeah, like. And that we have access to it, I mean, and can know it. And so in my comment as well, like there's always the possibility in the theistic worldview that a demon exists and is deceiving you. In fact, they say that stuff all the time, right? So two sincere people are like, oh, it's totally true that scripture says this. Oh, it doesn't, it says this. Yeah. Well, one of you or both of you are wrong. Right. Someone is deceived. Yeah. And they'll say it on stream.
God like, deceives too.
Deceived and just think of that. like, well, so has theism really granted you the access to all truth, right? Like, no.
No, no, yeah,
No.
easy no.
And so even if like logic is grounded in God, like it still you can't. Yeah, everyone in your theistic category shows me that I have no guarantee that I can really know. Some of the most important claims are true. So
Right. Yeah.
what are we doing?
Well, I mean, that's how I feel about all of it, where it's just, I think in many cases, everybody talks to each other how we all would agree. And then all of a sudden, when we start talking about these books, everybody just forgets how we normally go about in our everyday society and life. And that's what's weird to me. Like, that's the thing that bugs me the most is, if me and you were talking about this, about something else, and everybody at least could wipe God out of their brain, everybody would get what you're saying, what I'm saying. It would make sense. We would build communities off of this. We would build societies. We would build rule structures and everything. And
we already do.
Yeah, we do it. You're correct. Yeah, right. We do it. We do it. But it's just when we're talking about the Bible and the Quran or the Book of Mormon, all these things, it's everybody just, I don't know if everybody's pretending or what. Like that's what's weird to me, because I see you not act that way when I'm not talking about this, and then I see you act this way when I am talking about this. So it's just, I don't know what's going on in our brains to make us do that, I guess. And maybe that's where I get to where I'm like, there's something that is weird. And is it that logic thing, is it that math thing that I'm not explaining correctly to whoever I'm talking to where they're like, but wait, 2 + 2 is 4 for some reason. So there has to be something out there different, Jay. And that's where, if to just tie back to what we were talking about, I think that's why I say those comments like, I'm still stuck on that. And it's more not me being stuck, because I'm okay with not having answers. It doesn't make me jump to anything. Right. It's just me being stuck on, how do I help somebody else be okay with not understanding how that works, I guess. Because I was even a little bit confused, and I'm not sure. Maybe you did answer and I forgot, but
go listen to it again. And
did math really exist? Like, do you think math is real? In the way I'm saying right now. Now I'm talking like I'm a crazy believer, right?
Don't say crazy. Don't say crazy, because...
all right, that's fair. That's fair. I call myself crazy all the time. I apologize.
It's fine.
Yeah. But
I try really hard on my channel not to... and you do you. Like, I don't pretend to make rules for other people, but on my channel, I do my best always to be steel manning from now on and not criticize people's appearances and stuff like that. So
no, I appreciate you saying that, because even if I didn't mean it as a criticism, somebody might take it that way. Yeah. So I appreciate that.
I even went after R and Ra in my posts for calling an apologist Barbie. I'm like, stop it.
Yeah, he can get tough.
I love you, Aaron. Yeah,
Aaron. Yeah.
I'm screwed. I don't want to screw it up again.
Yeah.
I watch so much of their content too.
Yeah.
Okay, so even mathematicians' debate is too real.
Right.
It's a joke in Futurama, I think. Like, 2 doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I have to remember exactly when where that joke is. I think it's Bender's involved, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it's the same as logic, right? So this is just a form of communication that has been borne out through an extreme amount of utility, right? So yeah, I mean, we create sets, we destroy sets. We also decide what can categorically go in a set almost arbitrarily. Okay, so I might be in the set of persons, right? Because I'm Homo sapien, whatever. But I am not but I can still maintain my setness of person, but then not be in the set of um, Jewish people. I don't know why I picked that one. I don't have anything weird going on. I was trying to pick categories.
Yeah,
You know what I
fine.
mean? But
Yeah,
that distinction is like, well, why make that distinction? Well, why include me in the set of number of
yeah.
those
Only
people
only when we need
and
it do
not
we
those
do
other
that.
ones?
Yeah, when we need
Yeah, you
to
could.
do it. Yeah,
Right. And so two-ness is like, arbitrary and just when it's useful.
yeah. That's fair. Huh, okay.
Yeah.
I like that stuff to think on there. And then what's the one more thing I would probably say is I guess my thing is I think a lot of people, if we or I could find out a way to present that, that is the one thing that makes people believe there's something outside of everything that we can prove that is physical. And I think that would tie into like consciousness and stuff. Like I think
Yeah.
math is the same thing, right? Like, well, if there are no objects, there is no math. So in the same way, if there are no minds, there is no consciousness. I just wish I could find a way to explain what I'm saying there better. Like, so
Yeah.
it's like
Well, it
consciousness can't just exist without proving that things can be, whatever that is, can exist outside of a brain. We have no proof of that at all. So, like with math, to me, it's the same thing. Is there really 2 plus 2 if there are zero objects in the universe? Like, what does it even mean?
well, that's hold on. We have to kind of carefully break that one down.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you're willing, this is like a,
Because if there's nothing objects, then there are, like, if you're saying there are no things, well then by definition there
right.
is nothing,
So
and
to me,
no
that sounds
systems,
fine.
no axioms would be true.
Well, to me, that sounds logical, but when I'm talking to someone, it feels like they are saying that exists without minds.
Right. And so but then they'll move maths into the category of ontology,
I'm sorry, real
metaphysics.
fast, real fast.
uh, yeah.
Not without just minds. That was just specific for consciousness. Um,
Oh.
but with
I
math,
thought you were talking about math
well,
still.
math can be the same thing to me. It's just um, a different metaphor I would use. It's just like literally not metaphor. It's just a different example I would use. So it's like if there are zero objects, is there such thing as math?
Well, yeah, no, I
There
don't
would
know how we
there
would
can't be,
know
right?
without, yeah. But that's where the believer, moves it into, well, that of course it exists because there's always a God mind,
That's
right?
yes, and that's where it always goes. Yes. And so it's
Right.
like you have to conjure up God because without conjuring up God, these things cannot exist without us. And then
Right.
their hang up is also that, well, we had to have come from something or somebody, right? First cause, all that crap. But it's just like if
Oh,
I
that's a
could
good point.
if I could explain to somebody that you just because you don't have that answer, it doesn't make your answer you're making up make any more sense. Because just because there's a God around all the time, I still would have that question of, wait, is math still math? Like I still would have that question. And I know I'm getting a little
Well,
like off track
if
here.
if it is grounded in a God, right, it exists independent of all subjective in-universe minds, right, in the mind of God, then you could say something like, God knows all true propositions. Math propositions are always axiomatically true by definition, so God knows maths, therefore maths exist.
And then I would ask, well, what math is God doing? I know this sounds weird, but it's just like, well, wait, what
Well,
math?
that's switching to a category of like can God experience the operation of going through a problem? Like, does God ever need to exercise the recall or application of the axioms, like of addition, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of two, can God ever experience doing 2 + 2 = 4 on a paper? Well,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, that doesn't
I
make
don't know
sense to me.
if a believer says yes. I mean, that's, he can as Jesus.
Well, even that, I would say, whoa, you're saying that we still need people for math to be math.
You need some agent to
right.
some non-metaphysical thing. Well, no, sorry. You would need you need some kind of physical or form to participate
I
in
shouldn't
the
say people.
experiential knowledge of math.
Yeah.
But that, I don't think that a believer would be super comfortable with that. And this is pretty heady. I don't mean to make your show super heady or boring. I hope this isn't boring, people.
I enjoy this stuff, man.
Non-believers are like, "Why?"
but because these are the thoughts that I go through that stop me from just being like, oh, like I used to be, where I just be like, oh, I don't understand, so God's the answer. And now it's like, well, wait, even if God is the answer, some of these things still aren't making sense. Right. And that's why I like to talk about these things.
Yeah. So if you're going to say, even if God exists, if you're going to ask the question, even if God exists, does math exist? I hope I've made you understand that the first answer is yes, right? Because again, math, how we understand math, has axioms which are true by definition. They would say God knows all true things. If math is always true, or its axioms are always true, God would know it because it's true, right? Therefore, math still exists, right? Because it exists in the God mind, right?
So what about this one? Oh, go ahead. Sorry, my bad.
But it does get muddy on trying to understand, comprehend, or justify whether or not God can have the experiential knowledge of applying math, or at least I would say so. Maybe I'm wrong, right? Mm-hmm. But pre-incarnate Christ, I don't know how you could say God has the experiential knowledge of applying math.
Well, yeah. Well, I guess I was going to go to the point of and I did a video on this. I don't know if it's, I mean, I'm sure you did respond to one of these, but it was these things, if they do exist, I believe that would prove that they exist and God uses them. So God is still something that isn't the creator of everything. So if math is real and logic is real, those things would need to be like preconditions of reality, period, which means God is just using those things because God can't make 2 + 2 something else, right?
Well, you could say that those are fundamental properties of God's nature. And so because math is undergirded by logic, which also is like a fundamental property of God's nature, in their paradigm, right? That just as you could say, like, God is the good, right? God is the logic, right?
Yeah.
It kind of like just turns it into a tautology. Like, you haven't actually explained anything. You're just saying logic is logic, good is good.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't really explain anything. And so that's how they avoid like Euthyphro type dilemmas.
What's that?
Good?
Sorry.
Is something good because God commands it, or is it good because or is it intrinsically good and God must exhibit it? I think I've got it right. Yeah. Is it good unto itself and God adheres to it, or is it good because God commands it?
Yeah, that's right. I guess those would be the same kind of questions.
And that's how William Lane Craig, Turek, and apologists try to sidestep it, they'll say something like, no, 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 like it's neither. Like Euthyphro didn't consider the third option, that it's just essentially, it's part of God's nature,
Yeah,
right?
whatever
Wow,
that
look at
whatever
that.
that means. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like I don't
But
know.
again, that's
Some of
just
this
saying
stuff.
good is good, right?
Yeah.
Logic is logic. It is, oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I actually was I commit auditory masochism, and I listen to precepts during the day at work.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, I don't know why I do this to myself. But one of them said, just flatly admitted, like, God can't break the law of non-contradiction because he can't exist and not exist at the same time, right?
Yep.
Because in theory, like, an omnipotent God has all powers to do all things. Well, could you make yourself not exist? I mean,
Right.
but I think, and if I'm absolutely as charitable as possible, they're being just sloppy, right? They'd eventually, if you press them on that, they would eventually move to the escape hatch that I showed you, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. Like, it's not that God needs to obey something that would be co-eternal
Yeah.
or pre-existent to himself, because that's heresy. You can't have forms or objects that exist apart from God.
Apart from
Because
God.
then,
Yeah.
because then it's like multiple gods, or God doesn't have omni properties, because it has to obey this, that, or the other thing. That's just not acceptable. They won't. Nope, nope, nope. So eventually, when you break those things down, they have to be part of God's nature. So
Yeah,
the
there's
precept
always
is
an
just
out,
being
man. There's just an out.
sloppy.
Like I think
Yeah.
when we're speaking about God, it's really tough because there is always an out. Like you can just always just make up something. I don't know. Like you literally, because God can technically almost do anything if that's what we're saying. So all I have to do is then like say, oh, we found out evolution. That's cool because God can do that too, right?
Well,
Like
it's funny you say that. Like the precept worlds that I flirt with, and Christians are losing their shit over trying to agree, disagree, or say that believing in theistic evolution is tantamount to denying Christ. I mean, it's crazy,
okay.
crazy. But have you ever heard of the concept of like a hinge commitment?
No.
So it's when you have a situation in which one belief kind of hinges with another belief, which hinges with another belief, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
as soon as you recognize that you are convinced of, this thing, well, if you're convinced of that, it either seems very likely, or the consequence of being convinced of that is this, right?
Yeah.
So the consequence of being convinced Jesus rose from the dead, that Jesus rose from the dead is, oh, there were 12 followers who saw him,
Yep.
right? Or at the very least, like that God exists, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Or like, or maybe, and another commitment could be like, oh, well, also because the Gospels say this, and that's how I know it, right? That those convince
Yep.
me. Well, then the prophecies in them, right, confirm it. See how I've kind of moved
Yep.
like through this circle?
Yeah.
And what's interesting is later on, believers will say something like, well, I'm convinced these prophecies are true, therefore Jesus rose from the dead. So those hinge commitments turn into a
hinge
web of
like this.
interconnectedness,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That it's insufficient to undermine or find defeaters for just one part, because another commitment can come in, and of that they're convinced of, can come in and rescue the one that's in question.
Yeah, you literally
And
just
so,
explain apologetics in like 20 seconds.
yeah,
That's literally
it
apologetics.
really is. And so for a lot of people, when they describe deconstructing, right, it's because enough of these things are no longer able to hold up, that house of cards, or
Yep.
keep the strands of the web together. And so that's why people describe this thing as a process, or that over time they realize they're not convinced of some of the main things that are necessary, right? To say that I'm Christian or like, or I'm a theist, right?
Yeah,
Once you're not
exactly what
convinced
happened to me.
yeah, same
Yeah,
here, same
yeah.
here. I kind of came to the realization like, oh, I'm not convinced of enough to honestly say in front of anybody that, oh yeah, I'm gonna keep going to church. Oh, I believe he rose from the. No, I'm not. I'm just. Oh crap! I'm like not convinced.
That's exactly what happened to me. And then my thing was coming to the conclusion of I can't lie to God, even if God is real. So why the hell am I pretending? I wasn't really pretending, but it was more of just trying to hold on as much as possible instead of just being like, no, you don't believe this part anymore. And I would make an excuse. You don't believe this part, and then eventually I just stopped making excuses. Right. And my main point was realizing that, and this is where you transition. I hear this all the time. People transition from that monotheistic God into some deistic God. Like, because that was obviously not obviously, but that was my transition where it's like, okay, Bible God, totally false, but there's probably still some God.
Right. Yeah.
Right, like, so
I mean, honestly, I used to do my first iteration of my channel. I did like live conversations with Christians. I actually still have one that I saved and reposted. Like where I would go out to like OSU campus or Panera Breads, and I had a whiteboard that said, "It's best to be an atheist. Let's talk."
Yeah.
And people, like a few people, give me like stank looks, but then other like young Christians or pastors would like come and talk to me. And one of the things I tried really hard to present to them was like, I'm not convinced of any God claim I've been given. I'm not saying that there is no God. What I'm saying is I live my life without being convinced. And I find that to be better than when I was convinced.
I feel the same. I don't know. A lot of stuff better happened for me. I don't like. I'm not gonna say that's because Christianity was bad, because I literally had no bad experiences there either. But I will say,
I hate it when people say, "Oh, it's got to be church hurt." Man.
Yeah, nope, not at all. It really wasn't. Everything was fine. People tried to think, or not tried. People thought after my mom died that had to do with it, but even my mom's death was more peaceful for me because I was still in the middle, but my middle was like, wait, God, if God's not saving millions of babies, God's not saving my mom. Like that's literally what I thought. Like,
wow.
And I was like, what would be the reason God would save my mom? And then there's millions, maybe not millions, I don't know how many. There's enough babies. There's enough babies dying.
Reached the age of accountability. That's
I know, right? And I would hear things like that as well. But it's one of those things where, like, nope, I actually did not have bad experiences with religion at all, and so it even made me even more firm in when I was like, I don't believe this crap. Like, hold on, you know what I mean? Because I didn't have that baggage of like, oh, well, wait, Jay, you're only sad because this happened. You're only upset because this happened. Whoever just joined, I'll get you on in a second. Sorry. But that is kind of...
Can I play with them too?
That's kind of my story.
If you want to do one at a time, that's fine.
No, I don't mind everybody being here, but we'll just have to let them speak because I don't know what this is. So let's see. Hello. Can you hear me? Or maybe not. When you get your mic working, just text into the chat. I'm gonna have you muted for now because I don't want you to just... Oh, we got a few people. Let me check this next person. Okay, we do hear you. Welcome.
Oh, hi. Hello. Thanks. Hi.
What should I call you?
My name's April.
April. I had a crush on this girl named April in like elementary school. I still remember her to this day. She was my first crush at like what? How old are you? Like 5 years old?
Wow.
All right. Anyways, I'm totally joking. Not joking about the story, but I'm just messing with you. So, what you got to say, April?
You know what? I'm not sure. As I'm listening, I always think of these things, and I'm not really sure about like what I'm actually going to say when I come on here. But I am like I'm a former atheist that started to dig into science, and then that led me to philosophy, and that led me to religions and ancient religions in particular. And I just find it a little bit confusing when everyone associates God and those types of spiritual things with churches and with religions, and then says that, well, if they say this, we have to argue against that. When I don't think these people even understand what they're talking about to begin with. They're misinterpreting the Bible.
Okay. You got an example?
Well, I listened to a lot of, I don't know if you know William Donahue or Bill Donahue on YouTube. I think he's become more popular lately. But basically saying that God is not in the church. The Bible actually tells us and warns us against people like that. I mean, it says, call no man father. So why do they want us to call these men father? Also, another example from him is that, you know, when it says give tithings, it's about giving the 10% of your brain that you do use, because we don't use most of our brain, and it's not about money. These people want money. They're just using us and abusing us. They don't understand God.
Can I ask you a quick question? And this is just me clarifying real fast. I thought I heard that you said something about supporting atheism. Did I get that wrong?
Former atheist.
Former. Okay. I was like, wait, what are you? I'm so confused about what you're saying right now. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's more exciting. That's more exciting for me. Okay, so you believe in God then?
I believe in something, yeah, and I think it's misrepresented and not understood, and maybe it's not for us to understand. It just doesn't quite work that way. But if you look back at like ancient texts and religions and even just illustrations that they had, they knew so much more than we know now. They knew incredible amounts.
When you say they knew more, because I'm kind of against saying that ancient people knew more than us. And I shouldn't say kinda. I'm very against that. I don't think they knew more than us at all. And that's why they came up with what they did, and that's why I don't really judge them, is that they came up with the best answer they could for the information that they had.
And we're probably not talking about the same people, but like,
okay,
just like Buddhists, if you look at their imagery and their artwork, and if you even look at stuff about like this kind of weird, but like flat earth stuff and what their representation of the world and the earth and the heavens and even above the heavens, all of that, there are some just fascinating illustrations that are so detailed. You would look at that, I mean, anybody would look at that and just your mind is blown. Like they seemed to have all this and they're in all these different illustrations and everything, like sort of.
Can we get give me an example of how you think they knew more in a circumstance? Do you have something specific?
Just all the drawings and everything. If you look across ancient religions, they all kind of say the same thing. Like there's the three, there's the Trinity, the whole flat earth thing, but like we don't quite understand how the world is and how the Masonics actually drew the earth as like a flat disc within a toroid sphere and all.
Cool. So let's start there. Do you believe the earth is flat?
I believe it's partially flat, but not completely. I think it's a very complex system.
Okay. Is the earth a globe?
Not strictly speaking, no.
Because I don't know what that means when you say that. I don't understand.
The telecommunications you're using right now rely on the modeling that the earth is an obloid sphere, aka a globe. So if you want to just say like you don't trust the foundations of modern technologies modeling so that we can communicate. And you can
I
do
just
that.
don't think they're entirely truthful. I think there's sort of an in-between truth, and they're not being entirely truthful. And no, it's not a flat, just strictly flat. It's just really complicated, and I don't even understand it. But that's part of what I do, is I just look at things and I try to understand the best I can. And I just want to know, what do other people think, and why did they all sort of draw the same thing and interpret things in this funky way
okay.
that now
So
we're all crazy?
the ancient people, like I said, I think it's pretty straightforward if we just take it even at just face value. The information that these people had is definitely less than we had. So they came up with conclusions that literally I probably would have come up with also if I did not have the information I had. When I walk outside and I walk on the earth, it feels like it looks like it's flat. If I didn't have the information that I did have, and science hasn't proven certain things, I get them thinking that it was flat. But we found out that the earth wasn't flat a long, long time ago with sticks and rocks and shadows. So it's like, do you not believe those things? Because
because part of my little journey through this was actually starting with quantum physics and the whole collapse of the wave function, and then you can go into your matrix and everything, and what we're seeing, is that really real, or is that a projection from our mind and that's coming from somewhere else? I mean, there's a lot of things that I don't know, and I'm not saying it's one way or the other. I'm saying that it's incredibly complicated, and I just like finding information.
So what information did you find that everything that we have found out scientifically, and talking about satellites working, going to the moon just again now? They didn't land, but they went there. Do you believe that?
I'm not really sure, honestly. I'm not sure.
When
And I'm not going to say that I know anything, because I don't know enough, but I just, I liked questioning things, I guess. And it really started from religion and how I just didn't quite agree that, that people take the book in the Bible and they use it and they manipulate it and they take it too literally, and everybody wants to have their own opinion. That's fine. But
which one do you want to stick with? Because I don't mind us, like, do you want to topics? Like, do you want to?
I don't want to go into too weird stuff. I don't want to.
Okay, so let's avoid the. That's cool. I'm okay with not avoiding flat Earth. That's fine. Let's just ignore the flat Earth. I would like to know your. I would like to know your God thoughts. Like, what do you like? What is God to you? How did you come to that conclusion? Is it poisoned by the Bible?
If someone said to you that God is electricity, have you ever heard of that before?
I've heard God is energy.
Energy? Okay.
Yeah. And I probably, like I said, I've been through many cycles until
God might be consciousness. That's another one.
That too. Yeah. So go ahead. I'll let you.
And what about energy breaking the Schwinger limit and then turning into physicality? Like the sun and our makeup and plasma and energy in that capacity, where energy turns physical.
So you're saying the transition of energy into what?
Physical matter, the proton light.
And then what about that part? Keep going. I'm just trying to make sure I understand before I respond.
I just want to know, if those things sound crazy to you, or have you ever heard anything like that? Or I'm
definitely not a physicist for sure. But how I look at things like that is I will go look at it and research it. And I take this route, and I usually say this to everyone. So far, in all of our recorded history, never has there once been something found by our scientific methods that was not something material. Like it's here. So just because I don't know how quantum mechanics works, or how photons might work, why the speed of light is what it is, just because I don't know all of those things, I don't jump to any conclusions that aren't natural, because it has been proven over and over and over and over. How many times I can say that every time we find out something we didn't know, it is always here, right? So I'd never jump to supernatural, God, anything, even if something is so complex that I don't understand, until I'm proven otherwise. And so I would ask you, there's a question at the end of this. What stops you, or sorry, what makes you think that one day we'll find something that isn't what we would call material?
I guess I've been reading a lot of old books and ancient teachings and things, and it's weird that they all kind of say the same thing, that this is just the physical world. And I think if you start to read old books,
would you listen to those? And I don't mean to cut you off, but I like what you said made me think of a question. Would you take those people's accounts on how to amputate a leg? Like, should we read those ancient books?
I mean, is it probably anatomically correct? Probably. I mean,
like no. So like, say we have like, what's your favorite culture you're talking about from the past? Like, do you like Mayan stuff? Do you like what do you like?
No, I just like I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Because you said stuff about writings and stuff, so like I'm thinking about ancient Sumerian writings. If there was a doctor's book, would you want your doctor that's going to perform surgery on you to be reading a book from 3,000 years ago to perform the surgery?
I'd want him to know about it, because they probably knew a lot back then too, and not just to make up your own thing and say that I know everything now all of a sudden, and all those other people were dumber than I was.
Okay, what about in the 1500s? More recent. Because the reason I ask this is because I've met a lot of people that have this admiration for like the ancient world. Like they must have been closer to the truth than we are. So like, what about like if you go to like the 1500s and they were like bloodletting people and stuff like that? Like you think that's better than what we do?
No, I would just research it and look if there was any actual benefit to it, or if it was like some kind of, I don't know, crazy manipulation of people. I don't know. Like I would just want to figure out the truth, basically.
Okay, so how do we figure that out? I guess that's a good question. How would we figure out the truth?
Oh, just reading stuff from back then and then discerning for yourself.
So, I mean, let's say I actually have done a substantial amount of reading historical documents, and I've, developed a deep historical understanding of the ancient Near East in particular, because it seems like you know more of that, and Buddhism. And let's say I've done all of that, but once I come to the Christian Testament, and the early witnesses to those texts, the alleged witnesses to those texts, I'm completely convinced that I've actually come across the real history and fact of the matter. Forget all the church stuff, right? Like, well, after that, at minimum, I have like the core facts of Christianity right. That these things literally happened in history. There were 12 disciples. Jesus died and rose from the dead. I'm completely convinced of that.
The Zodiacs, though? Are we sure that these things actually happened?
Well, there were early witnesses, and if people were around back then, they could have refuted the claims of Christianity, right?
There are people that make arguments that the Bible is taken too literally.
Okay, but what is the what would the zodiac? Let's just say that was true. What does the zodiac thing show you? Like, say they really meant. Yeah. Go ahead.
I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I guess I'm trying to figure that out too. But the zodiacs are in like everywhere, and it's just always like 12 is everywhere, and it represents the time. And I don't know. There's a lot of. I guess I don't know. I don't know how to explain it well, but if you do watch William Donahue, he'll explain a lot of this stuff, and it's very fascinating.
Why should I trust William Donahue's interpretations of these things?
I did not say to trust it. I
Okay,
just said it's
but
interesting and fascinating.
Okay.
okay,
And I
so
just want to figure out these correlations that he finds.
Have you ever correlated, like just personally yourself? Have you ever put two things together that don't have anything to do with each other?
I found a lot of truth in hearing someone else finally say that God is not in the church, that the kingdom is within you. It's not in a church.
What if I tell you that God doesn't exist? Do you find that inspiring?
I would just ask what your version of God is.
I don't think there's any. I don't think there has been proven to be any being that is personally watching over us outside of space and time. That's probably my version of God. There's nothing out there that has been shown that there's something.
What if it's something more scientific and it's just more of like you said before, an energy or a light or something like that?
So is it just the universe?
Like a maybe like a seed within the universe or something, like a focus point or something specific. But yeah, I guess.
Okay. So
it might not be our representation of a god and a ruler and a guy that's, messing around with things. I don't think it's like
cool.
that.
So we agree on one part that God is probably not personal. That's what me and you were agreeing on real fast.
Yeah, and I guess I should say also that it also bothers me when people say, like, why would God do this? Why is there suffering?
Yeah, but that's okay because you just said God's not personal, so we don't even have to worry about that.
Yeah.
So like those things get destroyed just by you saying God's not personal. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because I think everybody, and I was one of some like this, that go on this path of there has to be something, but what I found out, there already is something. Like we have proof of something already, and that is the universe. That is special in its own. And I'm just using that word because I think that's where we get to. It's just like, to me, and I've always said this to myself, the reality of what this place is way more amazing, because you use that kind of word of like being interested in amazing. It's way more interesting and amazing than making up anything, right? So we know there's a universe. Even like we both agree that there's a universe. It exists here today. Anything that has to do with all the science that we found out, it's all been natural. It's all been found out in the universe. We used to think that everything was special here on Earth until we reached into the stars and found out, guess what? Everything that's here is in the universe as well, besides life. And so it's just like, I don't know why we jump to anything else, right? Like, so why, like my question to you is, what makes you have to add in the God portion when, to me, it sounds like you're saying the universe exists and universe.
Yeah, I guess I just don't know. I feel like in reading things, and I guess I couldn't even tell you anything specific, but I'm not so sure that this physical world is the end. And it could be, something silly as our energy goes up and comes back down. I don't know, but I'm not sure that this is the end all be all of
That's
it.
okay. That's okay though. Yeah. Like what's wrong with not knowing?
No. I just I guess that was I've been being an atheist for so long that's a weird thing for me to think that, oh, there's something else after this, but it's because I was always told, well, this is what's after and this is what you should expect and go to church and do this. And of course people are going to reject that because that's not the way to figure it out, in my opinion. Like
you just said something that's interesting to me, because I also think this is why we come up with a lot of the stuff we come up with. Is it's just ingrained into us, maybe since the beginning of civilization, of having to think there was something else. I'm not the biggest person that can probably talk about these things, but I would love somebody to chime in, because I think this is part of evolution. And for some reason, we needed to be able to envision things that might either be there or not be there. So that is like ingrained in us to always assume that there is something more.
Agency detection.
Agency, thank you. And I think that's, and like I said, don't quote me on this, but I like that answer makes sense to me more than saying that, oh no, human beings have always known that there is something more out there that is supernatural, and that's why we have those feelings. I always try to tie things back to what can be proven scientifically or natural. If there's a God, okay, but do you really believe there's any proof of that at all?
I just am not sure that our reality isn't created by us already. And then if that's true, that in itself is sort of like, well, there is something we don't understand then.
Oh, we don't understand a lot.
Yeah. Being
Right?
able to just say I don't know, it's uncomfortable to say I don't know, especially about like these bigger existential theological metaphysical questions. Like I think the difference between you and Jay and I is that we're in a position of, we're convinced of our conclusion so far, and we're okay with a large number of I don't knows.
Very large.
And you're in a different spot. Now, what I'm curious is, I'm struggling to identify any real utility in like the view that God is energy, or that there is a God that I can't distinguish from the universe and how my life generally goes. Like
it also plays into like Carl Jung's synchronicity and all that kind of stuff. Like if there is because then you could keep going further. If there is this cosmic force and it's not quite what we thought it was, as in religion and the church and God and everything, but if it's sort of like this other cosmic force, maybe there's something there to it, and then you explore that. I guess that could be a utility. To understand the laws of the universe might be beneficial.
To understand the laws of the universe?
Like cosmic laws, synchronicity, even numerology and astrology, all those kinds of things. And that's getting pretty weird, but those types of beliefs are making a utilitarian use.
Okay. So how I I usually look at those things. So do you believe in all the stupid signs? Sorry, I hate to say stupid, but Cancer. Dang it! What are the? Why am I blanking here?
Oh, like the horoscopes?
Yeah. Do you believe in that?
I didn't forever, but now I kind of wonder, and I test myself a little bit, where I'll say like, okay, if I feel like maybe this is happening, I test myself, but I haven't found anything to feel true about it personally. I think other people in ancient societies had a lot of stock into it, but I haven't personally had any revelations about it.
Okay, so the reason I bring it up is the reason I bring it up is because I'm the type of person I would go test it, and I test I test all of these things, and guess what? Horoscope stuff, nope, doesn't work. So what is something that you have tested that gives you reason to believe some of these things that you believe? I think that is the key thing that everybody should be doing. If you really believe magic is real, go test it. And when it doesn't work, or if it does work, you'll have the proof. I think I think a lot of people are afraid to test these things because then you're going to be shown that it's just not real.
Well, I also want to be balanced. I want to test it, but also be mindful that am I looking at it through the right viewpoint to understand the result too?
Do you need to look at
educate myself? Do
you need to look at gravity the right way for gravity to work?
Oh, we don't understand gravity.
No, but like what we think it is. Let's work with me here, right?
The average person.
Like gravity works a certain way. And do you need to believe in gravity for you to fall off of a building?
No, because I don't. I think personally that we don't understand it. We technically don't believe in it because we don't understand it. So, but it does its own thing regardless, right?
Yeah, but you're still on the understanding part. I'm saying no matter what, if somebody doesn't believe in gravity, gravity works, right? Like whatever gravity is, like I'm just gonna give that to you. We don't know what gravity is. Let's just say that. Like, does it work always?
And that's again, do we create our own reality or not? But I think so. I think it would be hard to have that not be true.
Right. So that's what I mean by that's. But I'm saying this because I was going back to the testing part. There should not be a requirement when you're testing something to have to believe it first. Like that's not a test.
But can you believe that they're in that whatever outcome is the truth? Like if you're testing something, your belief is that your test will provide the truthful outcome, whatever it may be. So you're not necessarily believing in something specifically.
I am saying your belief doesn't matter if something's true. Does that, like, that's, if I can make it plain, it doesn't matter what you believe. If something's true, it will be true. And whether you feel good about it, happy about it, sad about it, whatever about it, it's literally irrelevant. If I give you, that's why science is awesome in that way, to where if you go back to elementary school, high school, the teacher is like, hey, you don't understand this, but put these chemicals together and watch what happens. You don't have to understand the chemicals at all. You literally put those chemicals together and there's a reaction. That's what I mean by test.
So if there's something that science can't figure out and can't prove, that means it's not real?
No, I'm saying that means we don't know. And that's okay. Go ahead.
It means it might be a case where we don't have sufficient justification to believe it. We need something else.
Because that just brings it back to the wave function where nobody can figure it out.
And it's okay to say, I don't know, like at that point.
Yeah.
It sounds like, okay, one of the things I want to pull back and be a little meta for a second. It sounds like you have a high amount of skepticism and distrust in a lot of modern institutions and power structures throughout history. Is that accurate, or?
I'm not really sure. I just don't like the idea of going to church and giving yourself in that way, and that not being maybe the way that you thought it was to find the thing that you thought was there. I just have a problem with organized religions, I guess, like churches.
Okay, if you were convinced that an organized the baseline data is of an organized religion is true, like there's minimal facts that it's true, would you go?
Minimal facts that it's true? No, I just
don't like the idea. Let's say baseline, Jesus died, rose from the dead. Would you at least say that you're a Christian, or say that you're convinced of it?
No, I don't even like the Christian label.
But what if it was true?
Yeah, what if it was true?
I don't think I'm understanding.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure out where or to what level you would start to accept or reject ancient claims, right? So the Christian believer, like I tried to walk you through earlier, is saying, well, I've read all these, I don't have sufficient reason to believe all these prior historical claims or these other spiritual narratives. But when it comes to this one, I'm sold out convinced these seem historical, not seem historical, they are historical. It appears to any rational person this is the case. Therefore, we ought believe it, right? And so I'm trying to figure out how much of, the Bible or spiritual data are you accepting or rejecting, and what's your criteria to accept some, to reject some? Like, because if you're going to accept, right, that there were in fact 12 apostles and it relates to a zodiac somehow, okay, you're accepting that some part of a claim in the Bible is true. Okay, so how do I differentiate between some truths in the Bible and some falsehoods in the Bible? What are you doing to filter how you read these spiritual texts?
I guess if a man is using it to take power over other people, that's probably a pretty good clue that they're not interpreting it correctly.
It may be, but the thing is, and I realized this when I was
hold
still
on.
there. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, you can.
What if the text just explicitly says that power is to be exercised? That how
Which power?
the plain sense reading of let's go with Saul having to genocide the Amalekites, right? It just flat out says, this man, you Saul, you must wipe out every man, woman, child, sheep, cattle, whatever. You got to do it, right? That's a man exercising power of another. The text is just completely explicit.
I guess I'm not familiar enough. I don't know about that, but it does make me think of the Bhagavad Gita, where he said that you have to go and kill these people. You have to go to war, and it's already been done. You have to do this. It's your cosmic destiny, and that's why you're not supposed to feel bad about it. So I don't know about that book in the Bible or anything, but
well, that's fine, because my main point was, and I always ask this, I don't understand why people, if God is a thing, why do people think God has to be good?
Yeah, he's not. He's both. He really is both.
Well, because you kind of just said that if it is bad, I'm paraphrasing here. If it's bad, then it can't be from God. Did I hear that wrong?
Yeah, no, I think that if there is a God or whatever it is, it's both. It is the light and the dark. It's the cold and the heat. It's the good and the bad. It has to be everything. It's Brahma and Vishnu or whatever. I'm probably getting that wrong, but they're two balancing polarity, positive and negative. There has to be both. That's what I believe.
Well, the Bible doesn't propose any duality in that.
Well, I don't know if we should use the Bible, because you're saying you don't.
But, yeah, April, honestly, it sounds like when approached with skepticism or criticism towards a claim that you're making, you have a lot of ways to I'm finding it really hard to find any way to see whether or not we can determine your beliefs are true or false.
How do you determine it, honestly? How do you do it?
That's the whole point, though. I think that's the whole point, is that I don't have beliefs. I have ideas, and I read and I search for things and I look at things. I guess I'm just always searching and looking. I'm not claiming anything. I just want to know.
Well, then
more,
you're an atheist.
And I want to connect the dots. I mean,
then you're still an atheist.
But then why
you're
do
living
I feel
like
us?
Well,
maybe.
Go ahead. Say again.
But I do feel like there could be something else, and I'm leaning more now towards. I talked to my parents about God and weird things like that. They would have never heard that from me before, but it's just sometimes the ideas are there. And
so are you just worried about the label? Because to me, I don't worry about the label part at all, where it's just like, I mean, it's like atheists have this bad, like devilish past for no reason, by the way. But all you're saying is you literally said there's not enough proof to believe. That's what I heard. Am I wrong?
No, I don't know. I just feel too confused and too unsure that there's nothing to claim that I'm an atheist anymore. I'm trying to seek too many other things to say that I'm an atheist. Like, if I'm an atheist, well, then just stop looking. Just shut the books. Just don't look. Just don't care.
Can you do me a favor?
I disagree with that a little bit. Yep.
Okay.
Can you do me a favor, April?
Yes.
And it sounds like you're on YouTube a bit. Do you come on other panels? Just curious.
No.
Oh, okay. First time?
Yes, first time.
Oh, well, you know what?
That's why I'm so scatterbrained.
It's okay. It's okay. because usually we deal with, well, I say we, like I witness a lot of people who like to come on a lot, even though they're not like completely sure, and it can be hard and it can be nerve-wracking if you're not sure exactly what you're going to say. So, you know, I get it. And I also really commend you that you say you're searching, you're not sure. That's fine. To be not convinced, functionally, that's atheisty. But that's my thing. It's a minimum agnostic, right? But you know, being willing to have the harder conversations about God with people who are firm believers, that's hard too. Um, so cool, you know. And also, if you want to like start thinking about, I would recommend a channel like Theremin Trees, and there's stuff about like cognitive dissonance in there. There's a lot of like psychological stuff about particular gods and stuff. I don't think you might be that interested in that, but there's a video about like cognitive dissonance, and I'm wondering if that could help you out. Where, you know, it
I
seems
think
like
I'm truth seeking for that.
Say again?
you're too
I
truth
think I'm
seeking for that.
Yeah, isn't
What
cognitive
does that
dissonance
mean?
the one where you're kind of like dissuading yourself? Oh, hold on, let me look it up.
No. It's when you have beliefs that are in tension to one another and you're seeking a resolution. Um, and it's the tension you feel when that's your experience, right? So, because it sounds to me like, if I'm wrong, just say so. It sounds to me like you're undergoing this with non-belief and belief. Like there's things that seem compelling to believe in a God, and there's you know, doubts and a high level of skepticism on where to find that God, if it's real. Is that right, or am I just not?
I just think it's the journey to figure out that I don't like that people think they have figured it out because nobody has. And
I think we would agree there.
yeah, and I
In a different
I
sense than
don't
her, but yeah.
Yeah, but I
I
mean
don't
that's what I'm saying. I think we agree more than you think, and it's just there's nothing wrong with searching. I like I don't do this stuff because I just 100% am sure. I do my videos to talk to people that maybe know something I don't know. I give my opinions, and that's why I like talking to people that don't believe what I believe, because if they're correct, the only way I'm going to find out I'm wrong is by talking to people that disagree with me. So, I don't think there's anything wrong with searching to make sure that you are still correct, but I also
I
don't
don't even
think
want to be correct. That's the
you,
thing. I don't even want to be correct, and it bugs me that everybody thinks they're right or wrong. They're right or wrong. Everyone wants to bicker and argue.
when you hold on, sorry, when
If
you
you
don't
just
want to be
search for
correct,
the
I'm
truth,
sorry. What does that mean?
if
You know, what does that mean?
everybody is searching for the truth, and you might not find it, and that's the whole point. We're here to learn whatever you think it is. We're just learning and searching. And I don't necessarily love when people think that they haven't figured out so much because I don't think anybody does.
Okay.
I don't necessarily want to be correct. I
All
just
right.
want to search and find clues and enjoy that experience.
All right. I think that's a good point to allow you to wrap that up. Because I agree with you a little bit on the searching, and I agree with anybody that says they're 100% true. I don't necessarily say they shouldn't say it. I will require a lot of evidence from them. And that's how I take it. Like if you think you're 100% right or anywhere close to it, you should be able to provide evidence. And that's kind of how I look at these things as well. So I don't think there's nothing wrong with anyone saying that they know. It's just now I'm going to put you to the cooker. I'm going to put you to the fire, and you're going to have to show me. So I don't think there's anything wrong with you questioning. I don't think there's anything wrong with you trying to seek the truth. I wish, and all I try to ask is everybody gets to that point to where we don't know something. I think the most honorable thing to do is to not make anything up just say you don't know. And be sure to call me back, April. I would like to talk to you again. We're Monday, Tuesday, and Fridays. It's just I have a line of people waiting at the moment. So if you can call back again, I would like to talk to you. I think we can get into in more in depth in here as well.
All right, cool. Thank you for the time.
All right, April. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye. All right, AG9HLHK. Are you ready to talk? Or should I get to the next person? Check your mic. It says you're muted, by the way. Let me unmute you. Actually, you do have you unmuted. There we go. How you doing?
Oh, hey.
What should I call you?
Oh, it's Anthony. I go by Atheism, actually.
Oh, Anthony. Okay, I know you. Yeah, I got you, bro. I remember you. How's it going, man?
Hello?
Yeah. You hearing me?
Oh, yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, floor is yours. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just I was watching this Alex O'Connor interview of Dallas Jenkins, the guy who does the Chosen TV series.
One second for me, buddy. There's a lot of static.
Oh, let me see if I can reduce that. How about now?
Yeah, you outside, buddy?
No, I'm at home.
Let me see. Let me try a reconnect mic. Oh, that's worse. Yeah, it's pretty bad, man. Yeah.
Let me try a different mic.
Okay. Yeah, please. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah.
What about now?
Oh, there you go. That's good.
Yeah, that's strange. The internal microphone usually works.
All right, so you're good. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so yeah, I was just mentioning. I was speaking of the Bible. I was just watching this this recent release by Alex O'Connor of this interview he did with Dallas Jenkins, who's the creator of the Chosen TV series. The Chosen is like about Jesus and his disciples.
Yep.
And such. It was an interesting insight into, I guess, the complexities of making a TV series about the Bible, about like biblical stuff. It's like simultaneously, it's like something that people hold, as sacred on one hand, and also there's the issues of different versions people have, and additionally there's sort of the sort of the sort of popular understanding of things manifest in things like nativity scenes, where it shows the shepherds and the the wise men or the magi arriving like back to back and all of that. Even though it's like basically like fusing all these different things together. I did watch the Christmas special of The Chosen, and it seems like over there Jenkins does this thing where he actually like goes with Luke pretty much, just the shepherds, just getting about that, because it'd be a bit tricky, right? Like,
You're cutting out, buddy. Pretty bad. Yeah, and you're cut out all the way now.
Poof.
So, hey, Anthony, I think I spoke to you on Discord before. So if you want to just join the Discord, that might work out better. I think every time we spoke on Discord, it worked. So I'll put the Discord link in. I'm going to drop you here and then see if this next person wants to chat. So just call me on Discord, buddy. All right. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how's you doing, man?
Yep. Good. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. What should I call you?
You can call me John.
John? All right, John. Welcome. What you got for us?
First, I want to thank you for doing the work of what you're doing. I recently saw you on YouTube. That's how I got to I found you.
Okay.
I saw you when you talk about the clips of Frank Trek, if that his name is, the Christian apologist.
Oh, Frank Turek.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, I don't really agree with your analysis of of that. I was on what you call journey out of the Christianity right now. So I probably that's why I came across you of your videos and stuff. Uh, and yeah, but I just come in to say thank you and
Oh, wow. Thanks, man.
to
Oh.
to 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 for you to encourage you to keep doing what you two are doing, because I know it's hard for us when I hear you guys talking. I think I know what you guys talking about, because I've been coming I've been on that road, even though you guys are already ahead, you two are already ahead of me, but I'm still on my way out, you know. So
It's tough, man. Did you you were brought up in what religion were you brought up in?
I brought up Mormon.
Mormon. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, but the Christ, Christian it was strong at the time. So even though I was Mormon, but it still be like they're not so serious about who is right and wrong, or
Yep.
Christian and not Christian. They consider everybody a religious in the same page they were. But yeah, and part of I think I don't remember the other guy name that was there with you. When he recommend farming trees to April.
Oh, yeah. He hears you. He's here. Yep.
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
up?
Is that you? Yeah, farming trees helped me a lot when I watch his videos. Just kind of like when I on my way out, I started trying to figure out what's going on with me. And watching his videos is kind of like open my eyes to really see me where I was, right? Because it's kind of hard for me, to look back to and think to myself, why am I why was so defend, because I used to debate with other people, not atheists, but other Christian people on how what the Bible means and stuff, which one is right interpretation and stuff. But now I can see back to where I was. I was so defensive.
Yep.
I wasn't think critically. There's
Yep.
no criteria to know what is right and what is wrong and what is true and what is false, even to determine uh, which interpretation is right and wrong. That kind of and stuff like that. And so yeah, when I listened to you guys, I was like, man, I want to jump in there and say hi to these two guys. And,
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I think thank you very much.
Yeah.
So
That's all I was
awesome.
coming in to say.
Yeah. Mondays would be the day to do what you're doing. Mondays, like I do, it's an open mic day to where as long as you're talking about God, I'll probably accept you up. So yeah, I definitely appreciate your support, man. If you have any questions on your journey, there's a lot of these communities out here. I'm sure I'm not the only channel you look at, but there's a lot that's trying to get built. I'm trying to build, be a part of this as well. So it is, I think a lot of the things that attract people to religion is the community part of it. I know people personally that will pretend, and I'm not even joking, to believe because of the benefits of it. So I think as a society, we got to give people another outlet in order to feel a part of a community. And just because you don't believe in God doesn't mean that we can't take care of each other. So we gotta end that crap, because that's not true at all. And I would even say we usually take care of each other in spite of what God says in these books. So that's kind of it for me, man. If you got anything else, let me know. And other than that, thanks again.
Yeah, I
I
think
will also
before I
say,
go, yeah, go ahead.
go ahead. No.
Yeah, I'm just what I was about to just one thing to add is that I think that if the problem that the Christian has is that they just don't want to be with us, you know. See, that's the whole thing. I mean, I have a wife and kids. My wife used to say to them, why don't when they are arguing and stuff, that's is one way what she said. It kind of opened my mind also because she said to them when they were arguing and stuff, she said, "Why don't you guys get along with each other?" Right? And a lot of time, and then when that stick into my mind, and I was like, exactly. Why don't we, as Christian and atheists and whoever, right?
I
Or
think
like, why can't we just
I honestly think we get along until we start talking about
yeah.
this book. Like I get along with a lot of Christians, man. No joke. I'm
Yeah,
not joking. I get along with a lot of
yeah,
Christians, and the only time they start acting, and they say the same thing about me, right? They say I start
yeah,
acting crazy, and they start acting crazy when we talk about this book. But anyways,
yeah,
thanks, brother.
yeah. Hey,
All
you
right,
have a nice good night.
all right, yep.
You know, one thing about call-in shows that I think atheists can miss is that it's a real opportunity to humanize the non-believer to people, that they can witness and interact with someone who is not the stereotypical bitter, angry, uh, church hurt atheist. But that's what drew me to Apologia's content,
Yeah, I like him. Yeah, he's good. All right, I got a Discord right now, so this is Buck.
Yeah, I do need to drop. Thank you so much for letting me. Somebody's like, "Oh, W co-host." I'm like, "Oh, I'm not a co. He hasn't made me one."
All
But
good,
thank you so
brother.
much.
All right, you take care,
Yeah,
man.
thank you so much for having me up. I really
Yeah,
I
if
had a great time doing this. So
Mondays would be good if you like to do that. Yeah.
yeah,
All right, buddy. Take care, man.
later.
Yep.
Mhm.
All right, we're gonna have Buck in the house.
Knock, knock.
My man, Buck. What up, brother?
Hello, hello.
How you doing, man? Oh, I'm muted. I'm muted, Buck. Hold on. My bad. I'm muted, bro.
There you are. There you are. How you been?
Hey, thanks, Nitty, for that $10 super chat. You too, man. I appreciate your thoughts on like logic and stuff like that. It's still stuff I'm working on as far as being able to talk about it in the way that people need me to be able to talk about it. So thank you very much. I appreciate you, brother. All right. Now to our main man, Buck. He's probably called in the most.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I don't.
So
I
what's
like
up,
it.
everybody? How y'all doing?
Wait, hold on. Are you on camera? I don't see it.
Oh no, let me turn it on.
Oh,
Let me do that.
You don't have to. I was just making sure.
Oh, it's all good. You can see my ugly mug if you want to. Here it is.
I know you're not scared. Hold on. Let me pop open this. Let me pop this open there.
Here, let my hair down.
Let the hair. You just get off work?
Yeah, I've been off a minute. Been listening to you for a bit.
Yeah, yelling at me through the screen, huh?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Like Jay,
No, man, I love you,
Jay, don't say it, Jay.
No. You know what I like. I was just in the chat, and somebody was saying they'd never felt welcome as a Christian to a non-Christian place.
Oh,
And I was like,
I hope they're saying they felt welcome here. I hope.
It seemed like it. I reminded him there's no dogma here.
No, everybody's welcome here, man.
Yeah,
I don't even say that just to be. No, I really mean it. Like we're all going through this life of trying to figure out what's going on. So That's all
Right.
I say.
Right.
But
So I wanted to call the other day well, I didn't want to call the other day, but since then I've decided since you'd asked the question, give your best evidence of God, and I can offer this evidence to you, and you can accept it or not,
okay.
and that's just the way I'm going to give it to you.
Wait, you're about to
But
give me some God evidence? What?
I'm about to give you some God evidence, and I'm going to let you consider it, and we can go on from there wherever you want to at that point. But just consider this: every single human civilization that has survived or that exists has definitely been has definitely had some sort of God influence in its civilization. I don't. I would beg you to find a completely secular civilization that began without a God. And
As
from
far
there,
as we have in history, I don't think there's one. If I'm wrong, maybe I don't know.
I may be wrong myself. I don't know the proof of that myself, but
Like
that's
maybe
my
I don't know if the people that were drawing in caves believed in the God or not. I don't know. Like when we have the cave drawings, I don't know if they had
right.
like a God or not. I don't know.
Right. So yeah, I'm not sure either, but I mean, my assumption is that the history of that I've seen, at least from when we started writing stuff down, which is when stuff started getting really stupid, uh, because then we started learning how to control people. The reason we started writing stuff down was learning how to control our societies, our groups.
Yeah, it just got easier when you wrote it down.
Right, because you're right. Well, I had an interesting discussion with my son the other day, who told me, we have
Oh, hold on.
the
I want to
Bible.
make sure that like that's not your evidence, though, is it?
No. Well, no.
Okay.
Only my evidence. My evidence is actually there. Every civilization has come to that conclusion. So that's and like I said, I'm going to say you can have it, you can take it or leave it,
Wait,
and
hold
go
on.
from there.
I want to stick to it. I don't want us to jump off of it, though. So
Okay, but I'm not necessarily jumping off of it, but I would say that that is evidence that's probably stronger than me just saying, "Hey, I talked to God," and come and tell you.
if you talk to God, I want to know.
Right, I'd probably be telling everybody, and half the people would. Well, probably nobody believe me.
The
That's
first
the way I
thing,
see it.
the first thing I would ask God is to make sure I can provide evidence. Like that would be my first thing if God showed up to me at any point in time. Did I tell you? Like, no, now I'm getting off subject. Let me not change the subject. Sorry. I get in story mode. Let me not get in story mode. Okay. So what do I think about everybody coming to that conclusion? Here's my thing for you to think about now is
Okay,
starting at this point in time to 1,000 years into the future, I would assume that there's going to be less and less and less believers to where almost everybody believes that there is no God. Like,
okay.
would you now take that as evidence? Because we're having less and less believers constantly. Like this is a steamrolling type of thing that's going on. Like so.
Okay.
Would you then say that is just as much proof?
No, because I don't think it's working the same way, because I think even mentally it's working in a different way for the people who have to contend with the fact that now I have to deal with communities that I want to be part of or not part of, and associated with or not associated with. We're making choices about how we're grouping more than we're making choices about who God really is. Does that make sense?
Okay, the main agenda is not the God part, you're saying, right?
More than anything,
Yeah.
I think it's community grouping. It's the same reason you got Crips and Bloods. It's the same reason you got the Carbonis and the Calzones, and it's the same reason you got all that sort of stuff. I guess calzone's a food, huh?
Is that Miss Buck? Hey, Miss Buck.
Hey, Miss Buck.
Ask her when she calling me back. She didn't call me back.
She ain't called him back yet. What's up?
Yeah, I haven't been inspired yet. It's all good.
Oh, okay. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Well, good to hear from you.
All right.
So I just don't know, because at one point in time, like you heard us speaking about before, I would say 99% of people thought the Earth was flat.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say I don't know. It is not very convincing to me. Just because everybody believes something, that does not make me think it's true.
That's fair enough, and that's why I think that's why we have 1,500 different varieties of Christianity, because not everybody's going to group up. But the problem is that people want to group into groups and get into groups and start wearing, as George Carlin would say, armbands and hats, and making themselves distinguishable from other people in some manner. So it's been a very manipulatable and manipulated past that we've had with dealing with this subject of spirituality and connection with God, because I think it has, you're right, I think it has nothing to do with our government. It's got no business trying to figure out how we make laws that make sense and work for everybody. It has absolutely nothing to do with that. It's a total internal situation. I mean, I would almost say it's almost Buddhist, and I would even say that Jesus says to separate from the world in that way, and say, and
sometimes, until Jesus goes and says, "Go build my church." What is the church supposed to do besides have power? Especially,
and you notice none of those words were actually written by Jesus, right?
I mean, I don't think any of it was written by Jesus, but hey,
well, that's what it's. I mean, that's no. Jesus never actually put pen to paper for that whole book. Not a goddamn thing.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me that Jesus didn't just write down what Jesus wanted. But
he
anyways,
certainly wasn't illiterate, right? Because he knew the readings.
Yeah. So, back to what you said though. What makes you think that is sufficient evidence? Because everybody has always come up with gods. Because I agree with you there. As far as we know, I think you're right.
And so all I would say is that, for the fact that that's an intuition, almost an instinct, almost to that level of evolution, that we take that on. And I don't know if it goes on to other species in the world.
Mm-hmm.
That's for you to decide, I suppose. But we certainly have that perception, because we can communicate with that information with each other, which is quite a bit of
what do you think about
that we're bouncing around.
Because this kind of ties into the conversation we were just having, where I was saying there's probably evolutionary answers to these reasons on why we come up with things that aren't there. And I usually equate it to what we were just speaking on, where it's just like, hey, that you better believe there's something in that bush, whether there's something in that bush, because if you go,
what Paragola is, right?
Oh no, sorry, I didn't hear you. Go ahead and explain that for me.
Paragola is the seeing faces and shapes.
Oh yeah, stuff like that. Yes.
Like in toast.
Yes.
Or in water.
So
anything.
So to me, that makes more sense of why we saw God in the mountains, saw God in the clouds.
Yeah, or they ate something funny that was under a cactus
all of
bush
those
one day.
things, right? All of those
Yeah.
things. So,
But also, I have to say that is part of the human experience. And if somebody takes that influence, and that's the weird part about it, because as a believer, if I was to get involved in politics, I would allow my beliefs to influence my decision
of
making.
course you would. Yeah.
And it would be up to the people to decide whether or not I got to be their decision maker. At least in the theory that I understand of the United States, which it doesn't look like it's trying to work that way anymore. But we'll talk about that in another time, right?
Yeah. I'll be just for reference, I'll be picking up or starting my political channel a little bit before November. So I'll have some stuff going for that. But that's coming in the future a little bit.
I actually try to be apolitical for a lot of reasons.
I think it's too important, man. I used to sit back and watch because I thought people would logically not do what they did. Let me just say it that way. I didn't think we would do what we did the last.
I started out gung ho and in love with the whole process, and figured that it was the savior to humanity, and learned quite differently.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. So, but Buck, you gotta give me better evidence than people in the past did it. That's what I just heard. Why do we care about what people in the past did so much? What about that? Do you know why?
Well, it gives us an opportunity to learn without the experience.
Okay, I get that part, but why do we think what they believed is special at all?
That's pretty deep.
Yeah, like I ask that all the time. Because it's just like we look at ancient people like they were just so special for some reason. It's so weird. They weren't special.
Well, I don't necessarily look at them as special. I look at them as very similar to us.
Yeah, but you're saying, today. But okay.
I mean,
are you
have the same?
Go ahead.
Knowledge that we have, if you will, that we can say, yeah, we've been to the moon, or that the Earth is a globe. They had the perception that they had. You're right, but fundamentally, I think that's what we're really talking about here. I think looking at the Bible in a way of saying, yeah, this is what happened. God did this. God said that. God did this. God did that. That's our problem, is that we have taken the law, if you will, and wrote it down. And now that we've written it down, we can find loopholes and skip the spirit of the law.
The spirit of the law.
Hey, I didn't break that law.
I feel like you're throwing in these secret words there. What do you mean by spirit? I feel like you're tossing in some stuff in there.
Okay,
like, hold on.
Spirit of the law. All right, so this is I was throwing in a little bit of Jesus talk there.
Yeah.
He spoke of the Pharisees following the law, but arbitrarily or ceremonially or insincerely. How's that?
Do you agree that we should start forming a society that if you can't prove these things, we just ignore them? Are you with me in that?
I can't because I believe that if somebody wants to believe something, then they got to have it.
We never can get rid of beliefs, right? Like I think I've said that tons of times. I don't fall for somebody believing.
Right, but if somebody wants to believe that the sky is pink, we have to have room in the society for them. That's just how I feel for it.
100%.
We got to figure out how to communicate with them.
But if somebody is saying the sky is pink and then they are going to be able to affect thousands of people, I now need you to not believe the sky is pink. because
now
now
you're trying to be God by saying this isn't okay.
only because when we're affecting other people, the only thing that will help us all is if the people that affect the most people have to be able to prove their beliefs. Otherwise, don't join government or something like that.
Like, and that's my big fear of government is that.
And to be fair, Buck, I wouldn't be a police officer. You know why? I care about myself. Like, so
right, I don't want to get shot.
I probably would be a very bad police officer. So I don't think there's anything wrong with what I'm saying. It's just people being able to admit if you believe something and you are unable to cut yourself off from your belief with your job or something like that, don't get the job.
Right. There was a guy I used to work with who would always complain about how liberal it was in Colorado and blah 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 and blah blah blah, and where I was working and all the liberal stuff he was complaining about. And I always thought, what a strange thing to fuss about at work. You know, what does it matter? I mean, you're getting a job, you're getting paid. If you don't like it, leave. You know.
Yeah, I hear
you know.
All right, man. Just think about it.
Yeah, I'll think about it. But you too, man. Think about.
No, I'm always thinking, bro. I'm always thinking. Well, okay. Well, hold on. I kind of gave my reason. I think it's all evolutionary based. That we make up stuff, even without the God part out of it. We make up stuff to either make ourselves feel better or to protect ourselves from being injured.
It could be evolutionary, and it does make sense to be. But you know, I mean, I don't know. Research.
All right,
I will too.
I'll keep looking.
I will too.
All right, Buck. Take care, brother.
All right, bro. You be safe, bro.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for the time.
Yeah, peace.
Peace.
All right. All right. I should be able to hear you on here. That's Anthony, right? Can you hear me, buddy? Got to unmute yourself. How's everybody doing? Looks like you guys are chatting it up. This looks like it will be our last conversation. Got a few callers today, so I appreciate you guys. And then you'll see me tomorrow. And then Friday. But I should have a video ready for Wednesday. If you haven't checked out the video today, I stupidly released the video at 12 a.m., by the way. Anyways, it was my bad. All right, Anthony, right? What you got, buddy? Now I can probably hear you better. I thought I heard you. Hello? Yeah, don't forget to click your buttons. Make YouTube happy. If you haven't followed the TikTok yet, go follow the TikTok. I'm trying to get, I think you need like 1,000 followers. Yeah, I can hear you now, buddy. You ready? Atheism, actually. Mic check, mic check.
Yeah, I'm not sure where I got cut off last time.
Yeah, it's okay. I can hear you good now, though. You sound good.
Yeah, where did I get cut off? Where did I cut off?
Oh man, crap! You might have. Hold on. You were talking about. Crap! That I just had it.
The Chosen.
Yes, thank you. Some show or something. Is that? Am I right?
Yeah. I guess I was just musing on the complexities of producing these sacred stories, and oftentimes we have sacred stories that vary between sects. There's the Catholic version and the Protestant version and different denominations and everything. And yeah, like in the cases where you have to kind of first of all compress things for time, make it dramatic and everything, but then you also have these different and often contradictory or oftentimes even redundant stories. Like for example, one interesting thing is apparently in The Chosen, Dallas has just skipped the feeding of the 4,000. Like in the Gospels, there are two stories of feeding of multitudes. One is for 5,000 people. I think that one is like closer to the Jewish areas, and I think there's one up in Galilee, which is like feeding of 4,000, and Dallas just focused on one.
Okay.
And I watched the Christmas special of The Chosen, and that I don't know if I got to that point before I cut off, but yeah, that one only features the Gospel of Luke version, and not the Matthew version, which is again a bit clever because they do contradict. I mean, it's very hard to reconcile. And yeah, Alex was mentioning that he'd be interested, and I actually would be interested in knowing how they managed to reconcile the post-resurrection accounts, because all the other versions of the Jesus story I've seen in film, they kind of show bits and pieces but don't try and form a cohesive story, or they just focus on more the Luke version and not the Matthew version. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know he's talking. I forgot the guy's name. I thought I saw the thumbnail at least. Yeah, speaking to actor about I saw that one. Okay.
Yeah, the maker of The Chosen, Dallas
Yeah.
Jenkins.
Yep.
That's Alex O'Connor speaking to him.
Yeah.
A very fascinating interview, and it makes me think about all the other, like the Bible stories that I saw in my youth, right? They would often skip, like I think previously I did bring up some cases of sort of redundancies in the Bible, like Abraham has multiple instances where he passes off his wife as a sister to avoid,
yeah.
and then she's taken in by this guy, and then by either the Egyptian, in one case the Egyptian pharaoh, in another case some Philistine guy, and yeah, it's like it's a narrative, but it's kind of been, it looks like it was passed down in two different variants, and they were just both included in the Bible. But if you're making a story about Abraham, for example, you wouldn't. It'd be kind of weird if you had both of them in there.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. So in the same way, I guess that's why Dallas just skipped the feeding of the 4,000, even though because I guess the stories are very, very similar. Like they both have, it would just look really weird. I think he pointed out actually, it would look really weird if the disciples acted surprised the second time around.
Right. Yeah. And it's that's just so much too, man.
Yeah, and it's easier to read it in a story. It's easier to read it in a story, these kinds of redundancies, than to see it like portrayed in on the screen.
Yeah, because it looks ridiculous when you see it.
Yeah.
It's like it's totally ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably, I think I already had that on my list to watch. I wasn't sure what it was about because I don't know about the show. But yeah, I'm gonna take a look at that too, man. Thanks for giving that to me. All right. What else she had? Was that it?
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, there's also a peeve I wanted to bring up, which is like they show at least a couple of the disciples as quite literate and like writing things down as they happen.
Oh, okay.
Like they show at least Matthew and John, one of the Johns, like actually writing things down as Jesus says them.
And where does it say that in the Bible?
Doesn't. Oftentimes people assume or like to think, I think wishful thinking, that Matthew the tax collector was literate because they see like tax collector as being some kind of an accountant kind of guy or something. But what tax collector actually means then is basically a henchman, like a guy who goes and twists people's arms or breaks their fingernails or whatever to get the taxes out of them.
That's a good point to bring up. Just to assume that they were literate when we know they probably weren't, that's interesting. I always wonder why people never make up stuff that would be bad for the Bible. Just kidding. I know why. It's like we always make it up to make the Bible work.
Yeah, I mean, it's not impossible that he was illiterate, but it's just unlikely.
Yeah, I know. I'm more poking fun at like the logic that goes into. Well, it's never like, well, maybe Jesus was just lying. It's always, well, Jesus had to say this because of this and this. But I don't know. I get it. Like in order to believe this, you have to kind of have the apologetics. But I'm kind of being silly, getting off track here. But yeah, what else you got, Anthony?
Yeah. That's just what I want to bring up. Yeah.
Okay.
All
right, buddy.
Great chatting.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Bye.
Yep, bye. All right. Nice, man. I like when we get a few people calling in. I think Monday's a little easier for everybody to call in since it's like open mic. But definitely appreciate you guys. Let's see here. There we go. Let me get rid of that. There is a dispute over who wrote stuff, but whoever it was, I mean, somebody wrote it was literate, right? That's for sure. Whoever wrote it knew how to write. I will grant that. But it's more likely that from what we see, it was written down way after the fact, and we know it was changed a little bit. That's for sure. But yeah, all good. Thank you guys very much. I had a fun stream. So we will see each other tomorrow. I'll come up with some topic tomorrow. Be sure to join the Discord. There is an after party chat that if you like to... Oops, crap, what did I just do? I don't know what I just did. Let me unpin. There is an after party chat if you want to go chat it up with some people in here. If you want to continue any discussions, you can join that Discord. Everybody's welcome. Only thing I ask is to... if you're gonna say claims, make claims, answer questions, right? It's also what I ask for in the live stream and chat. Don't just preach either way. If you're stating something and somebody asks you for to answer questions, just answer the questions. If you don't have answers, just admit it. Don't just preach. Can't stand that. Because if these things are true and you know they're true, you should be able to prove them. And that's how you require those things and so much more in our lives. It's just when it comes to the religious text, all of a sudden everybody gets too sensitive about it. And then proof, or the burden of proof, all of a sudden just changes. Right? Like all of a sudden the burden of proof changes. And so it's just like present your evidence. If you got evidence, present it and allow people to question you on it. And like I said, that's either way, right? So you have some believers out there that want answers. If you can't provide them, I say, I don't know. You maybe tell them where to find the answers. Other way around. If you're religious and you think you have proof of something, show it. And then if you don't know, say, I don't know too. And then maybe provide them an outlet to go look into. So it's about communication. So let's communicate. That's all, man. Communicate. So let's do that, right? And that's it for today, guys. So again, I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you guys again. Be sure to go check out the new Frank Turk video. You guys love Frank Turk. So I'll be in the comments section. I'll be catching up to all the comments because there was a bunch of comments on there. So like there was a ton of comments. So I'll be catching up to those. And that's it for today. Yeah, I'm just talking in general. I definitely haven't been following the chat. Sorry, guys. Definitely follow the chat. Not following the chat. So like I said, if you guys want to join Discord, join, come chat it up in there. Thanks, guys, again. As always, I'm Jay. Don't forget to throw away your feelings, open your minds, and question your beliefs. Peace.